country braces for some high-level diplomacy in the coming days as Prime Minister Dioba is embarking on a visit to India next week, while Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is scheduled to arrive in Kathmandu later today for a three-day official visit. Both the visits are being viewed with significant interest given that Nepal recently ratified the much-debated MCC-Nepal Compact. Good morning, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi arriving in Kathmandu today. Nepal poised to sign more than a dozen agreements during the visit. Premier Dioba to embark on an official visit to India on 1st of April. Nepali Congress calls a Central Committee meeting to decide on election strategy. CPN-UML urges inclusive candidacies. Election Commission to print 20 million ballot papers. NATO announces plans for new combat units in 4 Eastern European countries near Ukraine. The US and UK increase aid and expand sanctions to new targets. And Nepal to host Papua New Guinea today in the first match of the 2-match ODI series. Nepal coach Puvudu Dasanaike says team with new players will gain experience from the series. The government has made preparations for the signing of implementation papers for more than a dozen agreements between China and Nepal during the 3-day official visit of Chinese Minister for Foreign Affairs and State Councillor Wang Yi, who is arriving in Kathmandu later today. According to sources at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, papers related to the implementation of agreements are to be signed for over a dozen projects, including those under the Belt and Road Initiative, along with Nepal-China Railway Feasibility Study, upgrading of the border points, and Galchi-Rasuagari transmission line. The two nations are to approve the implementation of 18 projects agreed during Chinese President Xi Jinping's Nepal visit in October 2019. The government has also been urged to raise the issue of operation of transit agreement, which had surfaced during the border blockade imposed by India. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Chinese delegation led by Wang Yi will hold talks with their Nepali counterparts. The visiting official will also pay a courtesy call on President Bidyadevi Bhandari and Prime Minister Dioba. The Chinese Foreign Minister is also scheduled to meet CPN Maoist Center Chairperson Pushpakamal Dahal and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli. China has intensified interest on the implementation of agreements with Nepal immediately after the parliamentary ratification of the American Grant Assistance Program Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC Nepal Compact. Prime Minister Dioba is to embark on an official visit to India next week upon the invitation of his Indian counterpart Narendra Modi. According to sources, Prime Minister Dioba will visit India between 1st and 4th of April. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is currently making necessary preparations for Prime Minister Dioba's first foreign visit since he assumed office. During the visit, Prime Ministers of both the countries are to jointly inaugurate the Janakpur-Jayanagar railway service. During his visit, Prime Minister Dioba is likely to hold talks on topics including border dispute, Kalapani and Limpiadhura, and electricity transmission lines, among other agendas. Nepal's newly appointed ambassador to India, Shankar Sharma, will reach Delhi before Prime Minister Dioba's visit. Sharma, who was recently appointed the ambassador, will be administered the oath of office and secrecy by President Bidyadevi Bhandari later today. Premier Dioba will be leaving for India immediately after the conclusion of Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi's state visit to Nepal. The Central Committee meeting of the largest party of the ruling coalition, Nepali Congress, is slated for today to discuss the upcoming local elections and collaboration with other parties. Nepali Congress, which has deployed central leaders in all the 77 districts to assess the party's strength, is set to seek upgrades in today's meeting. Leaders who had reached the districts will furnish their preliminary reports today. The meeting is also likely to officially decide on whether to form an electoral alliance. Other parties in the current ruling coalition are in favor of contesting the polls in collaboration. However, with Nepali Congress yet to decide on unity, any such possibility remains uncertain. Today's meeting will also discuss on the vacant leadership at the party's sister wings. The National Planning Commission was established 65 years ago with the objective of alleviating poverty and reducing unemployment. However, the failure in the implementation of programs of the Commission has led to adverse unemployment scenario. More in this report.
The government had called for 100,000 provisional or temporary police to ensure security for the local election slated for the 13th of May. By the fourth day of the call for application, with a one-week deadline, over 265,000 individuals have submitted their applications. From lactating mothers to master's degree holders have queued up for the 40-day job. Along with provisional police, over 144,000 individuals have filed their application for the role of surveyors and supervisors for the agriculture census scheduled to begin from the 19th of April next month. In a similar vein, the number of individuals seeking jobs abroad is high as well. Police had to resort to baton charge to control the crowd as a massive number of applicants had reached the Department of Passport. As the government of Korea is to recruit workers in the coming year, the number of applicants is likely to get higher. According to the National Planning Commission, around 600,000 individuals enter the job market every year. Almost 50 billion rupees is spent annually for programs related to entrepreneurship and skills, including the Prime Minister Employment Program. However, these programs are yet to produce the desired results. The private sector has conceded that new job opportunities have not been created because of failure in reducing cost of industrial production. A survey conducted 3 years ago showed that 900,000 prospective individuals were without jobs. The Central Bureau of Statistics has attributed the increase in unemployment to reduced contribution of the industrial sector in the GDP and loss of jobs because of the coronavirus pandemic. Despite the country's aspiration of upgrading to developing economy by 2026, Nepal faces additional challenges as the productive human resource remains unemployed.
In this context, in our Public Voice segment, we had asked people in several provinces, how can the nation generate employment opportunities? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
नेपालमै कृषि गरेर हामीले आत्मनिर्भर बनाउनु पर्दछ।
हामीले पढेको जति पनि व्यावहारिक शिक्षाहरू छ त्यसलाई इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन गर्ने एउटा फोरम तयार गर्नुपर्छ।
व्यवसाय गर्नको लागि लोनहरूको फेसिलिटी दिलाइदिनु पर्छ।
बन्द भएका कारखानाहरूलाई फेरि पूर्ण रूपमा खोल्ने,
नागरिकहरूलाई सिपमूलक तालिमहरू दिने।
Our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. Here's the question. What's your take on the sluggishness in moving ahead with the big projects? Your options are A, government's apathy, B, contractors' monopoly, and C, legal hassles. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the sports news. Team Nepal is playing its first match of the two-match one-day international series against Papua New Guinea today. Nepal has announced two different teams for the two-match ODI series with Papua New Guinea and the four-match T20 series including Malaysia. Both the sides have put forth young players. Nepal's ODI series with Papua New Guinea will conclude tomorrow, while the triangular T20 series including Malaysia will take place between 28th of March to 4th of April. Kantipur Television will air all the matches live. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.